table, falling apart, and got 3-bet by a nit. And the bad player called, and we have a hand that plays very well in multi-way pots. So what we gonna do? We gonna call. We did not connect with the board. That's alright. I probably should have c-bet the king-queen here. Oh well, I'll just take it to showdown. I do have the nut high card hand. King? King beats jack. Yeah, I'm just on my lobby grind. You know. Min raise, multi-way action. Ace sitting nut fucking flop. Wow. This guy c-bets 100%. Bet it, bro. Question is whether I go for a check raise to build this pot with all the equity I have, or if I just want to go with a check call. I think I want to build this pot up. If one of them has, say, a 9, there are a lot of turns and rivers that can come that can allow me to win this pot if I take an aggressive stance, whereas if I take a passive stance, I'm only going to win the pot if I make the best hand, which I did, so it doesn't matter. But now we're dealing with a bigger pot, so I can get, on one hand, more value from a 9 than I could if I go with the check call option. And if he has a flush, we're getting all in. Whereas if I check called, it's going to be tougher to get all the money in by the river. But you know, sometimes they don't have the hand you need them to have, and you don't get paid. All you can do is play the hand the right way. Play it the best you can. And I think we did that there. I wouldn't even say we got lucky to connect with the turn, because it's pretty annoying to make the nut flush and have it go to waste. I think that was a bad result. I was going to keep betting regardless, and I was going to win that pot regardless, and I would have felt much better about taking it down with a pair of 6s than I do from wasting the ace high flush. This guy's aggression. Should I have thought about that? Nah, he's pretty passive. If Christy BB was like a super aggro guy or something, I may have opted to check that turn to give him a chance to bluff at it, but he's not the player type to make that play against, so. A lot of action, table 5, lot of action. Yeah, not the best flop for me. Not the worst one either. I do have gut shot and the backdoor nut flush draw, which means on spade turns I can keep barreling. So I'm going to bet. Can also get called by king queen, which I happen to have beat. I'll just bet out and see what happens. 2 overcards, gut shot, backdoor nut flush draw. Can't be the worst. Obviously, I don't love the fact that I'm betting into 4 people. I'd much rather it be 3 or 2, so the c-bet has a better chance of succeeding. But just because there's 4 of them doesn't mean someone has to have hit the flop. It just means it's more likely that someone hit the flop than it would be if it were a heads-up pot. You see, I'm going to show you guys how to grab a seat. Oh, got it. If you see someone... No, I'm not going to tell you guys that secret, because then you guys are going to steal the seats when I'm trying to get them. You could probably figure out what I was going to say, and if you do figure it out, good for you. You're going to know how to grab those seats. But I don't want to give away all my secrets just yet. I mean, we've only been doing this for like 2 months. Can't give it all away right away. Slowly but steadily, I will give you guys my secrets as I think you can find them useful. Like if I taught you guys how to cold 4-bet, and it was the first poker video you ever watched, how useful do you think that would be? And that's where a lot of... Christy left. Okay, game over. Bring in a new one. Never stop. Never stop. This board I don't like on table 6. Just check. Yeah, like, If I taught you guys how to cold 4-bet before I taught you guys how to play pre-flop, how to open properly, how beneficial do you think that would be? And that's where a lot of people went the wrong direction with the poker training sites. When they first came out, your Card Runners, Deuces Crack, Lego Poker, all those sites, they're fantastic. The information you get is fantastic. Great instructors, great poker minds, talking you through the way they play, why they make the decisions they make so that you can make profitable decisions too. But a lot of people were watching like these high stakes videos where the game dynamics and the strategy is very different, and then trying to apply them to their micro stakes game. They're like, well, I play 5 cent, 10 cent, or I play 2 cent, 4 cent, but Cole South is one of the best players in the world, so I need to do what he's doing. So they watch the videos of him, or they watch Raptor doing all this crazy shit, and then they try to apply it in a game where it's not the right strategy. Where the right strategy for making money is going to be different because you're dealing with different player types. So it's important to try to watch videos that appeal to your skill level, that apply to the games you're playing at, and the best way to do that is find videos at the stakes that you play from winning players. If you're a 5 cent, 10 cent player, there's no point in you watching a 5-10 no limit video or a 10-20 or 25-50 no limit video with a guy like Nuts and Ho. Yeah, it's going to be great knowledge. The guy thinks about the game very well. He's going to explain his thoughts very well. But you're not going to be at a point where you can really benefit from that in terms of both understanding and application. It's like when you learn a language, you got to learn the words first before you learn how to conjugate a verb, and before you learn about tenses and stuff. It's all about the building blocks and working your way up. So that's why I would encourage you guys to also seek out other video makers, seek out other YouTube channels, and find other people who are producing content that is going to benefit you. Try to find people who play the stakes that you play and watch their videos, because that's going to be the most relevant content and the stuff that is going to have the biggest impact, immediate impact on your win rate and your bottom line. And that's enough about that tangent. Let's get back to some fucking cards, right? King Jack, we're taking a flop. Flop flush draw on table 4. We're gonna see bet. And we flop 2 over card on table 1. Gonna see bet. Oh, we turn a flush. We turn a flush. We're gonna peel with the good shot. Table 3. With the flush, we're gonna check. This guy nit, and we gotta be tricky against him. And now we bet the river so we can get paid off by the 2 pair. Alright, Ace Jack dump. What's Hipster Taste's defending range from the small blind? I know what it doesn't have. And that's a 10. So I'm going to represent. Call, you got it? Yeah, I should have probably folded the turn on table 3. But then he gave me really good odds on the river, so that's why I called. I think Hipster can have 9s. It's strong ace highs. He's more of the aggressive type, so he's usually going to bet the turn when the flop gets checked through, whether he has a good hand or not. And even though I don't that often have a 10 there, I can still have a 10 there sometimes, so he has to give me credit. And there are very few 10s that he would call with pre-flop in the first place, so... Eddie May, I mean, I do have the best ace high, and everything missed, so I call. You have 9-3 offsuit. That's what ADV pip looks like, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what check raising with top pair, top kicker looks like, because I just wanted to... I have too many hands right now to try to walk through my thought process right now. Just watch, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All in. You do, you call off. You turn to fucking straight. Spade. Damn. Well, I check raise the flop so I could get more money in, and therefore charges draws more, and if he hits his draw, it's less of a whatever. We're getting to the tail end of an hour and a half session, so my thoughts are starting to wane. And yeah, probably got to wrap it up fairly soon. But for those of you who are new to Gripst, if this is the first Gripst video you've watched, I encourage you to watch the Gripst Poker training videos. That's just the title, the start of each video. They're also known as the Gripst Poker Show videos, because on those videos I get people from all different limits to come on the show. And they play a session and I coach them. And that's kind of what I was getting at earlier, is about getting that relevant information. You can watch people play who are playing the same stakes as you and learn from their mistakes and learn from their triumphs as well, so that you can kind of emulate them a little bit. Now, you never want to change your game completely. You always want to maintain your unique style of play, whatever is suited to you, your personality and your general... Don't know. Too late in the video. Anyway, your personality is going to help determine what your general style is, and it's going to be very uncomfortable for you to try to play a style that is complete opposite to what your natural tendency is, whether you're risk averse or risk inclined. Guy folds to 100% of c-bets on table 5, so we'll c-bet on a queen high dry board. He did not fold. We're done. We give up. But it's always good to incorporate elements of other good players' games into your game to make yours a little bit stronger. At your core, at your foundation, you should have a unique style, one that you're comfortable with, one that you think suits you well. But if you see someone doing one move that's really sweet and very profitable, as long as you're comfortable with it, you should add it to your game. But add them, one move at a time. Don't rush to try to become the next Tom Dwan, the next Greg Merson overnight. You can get there eventually, but patience is key. Patience, discipline. Patience, discipline. Patience and discipline. Yeah, those are the two biggest things. Motivation would also be in there. Hipster taste, wug. I don't think he's defending a worse ace from the small blind. I don't think he appeals a Jack-10 either. Try to show this hand down. I don't even know if I'm going to call a bet. Ace-10 beat me, Ace-9 beats me, 9s beats me, 10s beats me, Ace-Queen beats me, Jack-Queen got there, 8-7 he probably folds pre-flop. And so the only one I really beat is 10-Jack. I don't know if he turned that into a bluff. Yeah, I'm gonna fold. Nice hand, bro. Oh, I have trips. I have trips. This guy's opening range from early position on table 1 is fairly tight, so I'm actually going to fold Ace-Queen to it. Remember, it's not only about your cards, it's about the situation. What your opponent's cards are likely to be, and what the best way to proceed with your particular hand is against all those possible holdings. Table 6, I'm just going to defend. On table 5, I was going to call it first, but then I remembered this guy folds to a lot of flop bets and also has a ton of junky hands in his range, so 3-bet and c-bet, and if he call, min-raise, alright, well, don't want to just get it in with straight draw, because this is the first time he has raised, so he probably has something decent, but getting 4.7 to 1, definitely not going to just fold this open-end straight draw. So let's just bank a 9 off and get paid. The toughest spot. We're dead to 2 pair in a set, but we are now ahead of ace-queen. He's pretty aggressive. I think he would have taken a little longer if he flopped a set. I'm going to hope that this is an ace-queen hand. Obviously, king-queen is going to have me in bad shape, but I'm going to roll the dice. This was a pretty good turn card for us. We do have equity almost no matter what in the worst-case scenario, and there's a decent chance we have the best hand. So let's give it a go. Damn, 2 pairs no good. Ouch. Never expect the 75-40 guy to show up with the aces, but every once in a while, even the bad players get dealt a good hand. Check call the turn. I think it's okay. But a little upset now. So, I'm going to wrap up the session on that note. And I probably should have wrapped up the session when I said I was starting to get tired. I was having a little difficulty getting my thoughts out in speech. But when you got some good seats and there are weak players in the mix, especially people with like VPIPs of like 50 and 70, it's very hard to like get out and to quit because you feel like you're giving up a lot of value. And that's something I've struggled with a lot when I first started out, was not being able to quit when there were good games. You just have to recognize the games will still be there tomorrow. There will still be bad players in the mix, and as soon as you feel your focus start to go, it's time for you to get up and get away from the tables. You can always come back in an hour, go drink some water, eat some food, recharge the engine so that you can have the full mental power of your brain, because that's what you need in this game of mental warfare that is poker. Gotta be sharp. Wow, it's a really wide call open. Okay, I make it the peel. Maybe have it the best hand, probably not anymore. Okay, C-bet on table 5, and take it down. Take her down. Just got one more hand. So on that session, unfortunately, we weren't really able to recover from the first three big pots. There was the 7-9 suited, where a guy backed into a flush and got us for a bit. There was the ace-queen, where we lost to the deuce-6 suited, and the ace-queen, where we barreled on the king turn, and our friend had floated the flop with king-queen, so he was not folding. Would have been nice if that turn was a queen. We extract a ton of value from it, but whatever. And the only other big pot we lost was ace-10 versus the turn straight, which I think we played pretty well. And of course that last hand, where we got stacked. So total damage was 119, which brings the bankroll to $1,061.05. Played a 21-18 style with a 3-bet of 6, which seems to be about pretty solid range. I think, if anything, I can bring the 3-bet up a little bit more, get it to about 8, but the other stats I like. 21-18 is a pretty dangerous, tough to play against style. A little bit of 4-betting, a little bit of everything. Playing solid. So I know I didn't make any money this session, but I hope you can use the information and the knowledge that you picked up to get you some money. And that's it for me. This has been Evan for Grips.com. Now it's your turn. Go out there and get stacking.